I'll buy this because it says, you're dead to me, and you are, because I'm out.
Donald Trump is already doing it here at home, and now Shark Tank's Mr. Wonderful wants to make Canada great again. Businessman Kevin O'Leary is running to be the conservative leader of our neighbor to the north. What lessons has he already learned from President Trump? He joins me now. So, Kevin, you and Trump are big billionaires. You guys understand leverage very effectively. How do you believe President Trump is using leverage in negotiating so far in his first 30 days as commander-in-chief?
Well, the first thing Trump recognized in the campaign, and I think this is not just unique to the United States, it happened in Britain, it's happening in Canada, in France, in Switzerland, in Colombia. The body politic, people who vote, are sick and tired of politicians. They've had enough BS. And they want people that are operators to run government, that make promises that they keep. And that was the groundswell that elected Donald Trump, and he is doing exactly what he said. Not everybody's comfortable about it. It's the first time in a long time a politician actually kept their promises. And that's what's such a shock to everybody right now.
Yes, people are very uncomfortable with politicians keeping promises because it never happens. And one of your colleagues in the Shark Tank, Mark Cuban, very vocal critic of Trump before and after he was elected, he actually said this on the O'Reilly factor. Roll the tape.
I don't think he's been able to show any leadership. I don't think he's taken responsibility for the White House, and I don't think he's shown them any direction.
And Donald Trump hit back hard on Twitter, as he always does, saying, quote, "I know Mark Cuban well. He backed me big time, but I wasn't interested in taking all of his calls. He's not smart enough to run for president." So what's going on there with your colleague Cuban? A lot of sour grapes, it seems like.
Well, Mark has been very vocal, as you've suggested, and he's an open critic, and he has every right to be so. We live in a free speech domain all across North America. I get that. But, you know, if you go back and look at any administration switchover, I don't care which president came in, every cycle, every 4 or 8 years, you get pretty well chaos in the beginning. There's a lot of issues that happen, and there's mistakes made, and that's exactly happening here. What's unique about the Trump presidency is he listed 4 or 5 items that he was going to implement, and nobody thought he would do it, and he just rammed them through so fast that it really caught the bureaucracy off guard. And, you know, the way to measure any presidency is to wait and see how it plays out. By the measure of an investor, you've been pretty happy with Trump. You're up almost 10% on the S&P, and a huge move in a short period of time.
But you said something that I kind of want to touch on here in terms of economic performance, because let's look at the numbers. President Trump has created well over 200,000 jobs theoretically since the election, secured nearly $80 billion in investments in this country from big names like IBM, Walmart, and General Motors. And, you know, he hit this up the other day, tweeting, "The stock market hits new high with longest winning streak in decades. Great level of confidence and optimism even before the tax plan rollout." So not only do you have him negotiating a lot of companies reinvesting in jobs and infrastructure here in this country, you have the market on a record tear, and the tax cuts haven't even come down the pipeline yet. What do you expect in terms of the tax cut rollout?
Basically, the entire financial services sector, large money center banks, and also all the regionals have moved almost 25% in a matter of 16 weeks. That's unprecedented. And if we don't deliver on deregulation and reduction of corporate taxes, that could easily evaporate. So that makes me a little nervous. The fortunes of these banks haven't changed. Their cash flows haven't changed. The regulation environment hasn't changed. These are all promises. Trump has done a pretty masterful job in getting people to believe he's going to do it. Now he's got to bring home the bacon. That's the key.
Speaking of bacon, Canadian bacon, your guy Trudeau was here earlier this week. And, you know, whenever Trump does the photo op, he likes to shake hands very vigorously. And before we do this, let's take a look at how Trump usually shakes hands with men he's dealing with. I think we have some footage here. So, your guy Trudeau tried to beat him to the punch when they shook hands, grabbing him by the arm here and then kind of going in so he doesn't get the pull job. I thought it was pretty effective. You must have been proud of your Canadian counterpart.
My concern about the meeting was this. I looked at it against the British and the Japanese prime minister meetings, because to me, that's a sign of respect, really. Let's remember that Canada and the United States have an unprecedented relationship. Why would Trudeau only get 15 minutes of the president's time in private when the British prime minister got hours and the Japanese went golfing? That's the thing I'm worried about. That's the kind of signal I didn't like.
Well, listen, if you're ever elected Canadian PM, maybe you can go play golf down in Florida with President Trump, okay?
It's quality time, quality time.
That's right. And thank you very much for joining us, and good luck in the election up north. Appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Up next.